As we get into the cooler weather months, as we go through fall and winter, it's worth it to take a look at the sort of options that we have to keep ourselves looking nice, but also make ourselves comfortable. Fall and winter is a great time for people who enjoy dressing up because it gives us a whole bunch of different options of stuff to use depending on what sort of event you're going to and what sort of weather there is. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different ideas and stuff that I've got for the fall and winter time. We're going to start at level 1 with the sweater. There are a gigantic variety of sweaters that can be included in all kinds of different formal and casual outfits. This one is a merino wool sweater, so even though it's very lightweight, the merino wool material makes it very warm. I like the V-neck because it gives you the option to include the tie for the extra pop of color, or you can do less formal and just wear the shirt under, open collar. But there are many other types of sweaters that you can use, including the cardigan, available often in either full zip or full button options, is a lot of fun. Depending on the temperature, you can use this as a replacement for a sport coat if you don't feel like going all out with it and it's not that cold. Experiment with different button styles. This is a great addition to any wardrobe. The pullover sweater vest, which adds another great layer to your wardrobe and is really versatile in that you can wear it more casually, or you can wear it under just about any type of sport coat that you have, depending on the weather and what is comfortable for you. The quarter zip has become increasingly popular over the past 5 or 10 years for its extremely versatile use either as a top layer or under a sport coat. Like the V-neck, it's something that can be done with or without a tie, and of course you can even do this with or without the dress shirt underneath. I typically like to have the dress shirt underneath because I like the silhouette of a collar and I like the option of being able to put the tie there when I feel like. This is also a great way to experiment with things like color blocking and pattern mixing, which we have discussed in different videos. Feel free to check those out. And don't be afraid to wear this with either a sport coat, which adding a sweater underneath is a great way to get more use out of your lighter weight sport coats even in the wintertime, because you can still make them work because you've got the extra layer of warmth, or even a full suit. And this is still a perfectly good way to get to the office in the fall and winter time. Now, sometimes a sweater or even a sweater with a regular suit coat is not going to do it. Maybe it's not warm enough. Maybe you want something that's a little bit of a different look. Well, there are several specialized coats that provide for just such an occasion. One of my favorite heavier weight colder weather options is corduroy. Corduroy has been a mainstay in folks' wardrobes during this time because of its thickness. It's a really nice heavy fabric, but also because of the texture and pattern it provides. This is a fantastic jacket for not only protecting yourself from the cold and keeping warm, but it's also wonderful for pattern mixing and texture mixing and things like this. It can be a really wonderful option if you are trying to provide an aesthetic that's a little bit more unique. Another fantastic, timeless option for keeping yourself stylish and warm during the wintertime is what they call the camel hair jacket. Now, this is available in all kinds of different colors, but the most well-known and the most popular is probably a tan one like this. They're very often made either out of cashmere or cashmere wool blends. And don't be discouraged by the prices when you see them at department stores. You can very often find them thrifting. I found this one for maybe 10 bucks thrifting, and I didn't even have to alter it. It's a wonderful, fun option. One more really classic option that we will discuss before moving on is tweed. Now, tweed is something that a lot of my customers have looked for in the past. This is going to be another terrific thing that you can probably be more likely to find thrifting. It's harder to find in the modern department store. The other thing that happens is customers will confuse the pattern, which is called a herringbone pattern. They will see a coat with this pattern and it will just be made out of regular wool, but they'll think it is tweed. Tweed is not the pattern. Tweed is the Scottish material that it is made out of. This jacket, which is another wonderful piece that I got really lucky to find thrifting, is made out of pure Scottish wool. So it is a really nice, warm, comfortable, classic piece. And if this is still not doing it for you, if this is still not warm enough for the situation, then you can feel free to add either a vest if you are trying to dress the look up a little bit more, if you're trying to make it more formal, but using an odd vest with different patterns can make it more playful at the same time. Or you can go right back to the sweaters that we discussed earlier in the video. If this still is not warm enough, there are a couple more steps you can take to add to your warmth, but still keep it fresh. So from here, once you've used undershirt, dress shirt, sweater, sport coat, and so on, if that's still not warm enough, or if you're going out into really serious weather, then what you need to do next is add another layer. So there are a lot of different types of overcoats and greatcoats you can use. There are even like the wool cashmere options that are similar to the camel hair sport coat that I showed you. What I typically go with, this is my favorite, this is just a waterproof, snowproof raincoat that belonged to my grandfather. So I just use this one because it is warm, it has a removable lining, and so it's great for lots of different situations. If you're still feeling uncomfortable, now you can start to choose to add cold weather accessories like hats, especially felt hats like this very nice fedora here, or much more serious hats like these, which often can double as ear coverings and things like this. And of course, finally, we can add scarves and gloves. I've not got any gloves. I usually keep my hands in my pockets. But a final word, be smart about this. I've had a lot of folks ask me, oh, well, what sort of shoes do I wear when I'm trying to be dapper in a blizzard? And the answer is you don't try to be dapper in a blizzard. A couple of years ago, there was a department store that I worked at that I was expected to dress nicely for, that I lived about a mile away from, and it snowed and they were still open. So I couldn't take my car, I had to walk. Rather than try to figure out what shoes would work best, I used the obvious answer. I used the boots. Now, I carried my dress shoes with me so I could wear them inside, but when venturing into the elements, I did not compromise my safety and my comfort for a look. Remember, when you are doing all this as you get into the winter time, that you do not need to kill yourself for a look. Protect yourself and then worry about the aesthetic when you're safe. I hope this covers and answers questions you may have about dressing for the fall and winter. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it, but it's hot in here now. I'm gonna go take this stuff off.